Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Powerhouse here once again with my videos, and once again we are here with the yearly look back. And what a year has it been, not only for the channel but just in general. I think we can all say we thought we would get out of this mess, and we're still in here, but hey, we're here together, so that's all that matters. In the meantime, I've gained some muscle, so have fun with that. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. So as we do every year, just gonna quickly go through the top 10 videos of this year. This year was a bit of a down year in terms of views. Definitely step back in views compared to last year. Last year was pretty good. This year was a step down, but I kind of expected that, and main reason I expected that is because this year, last year we finished a majority of the Total Wars, so we really only had like 2 left, and I eventually got to them. Attila didn't do as well as I hoped. Medieval did actually better than I hoped, and then Attila did worse than I anticipated, but it's just how the cookie crumbles, and that's how things are. But at the same token, we actually got a lot more subscribers than last year, so it's interesting. Less views, but more subscribers. What that means, who knows? Only time will tell. So as always, if I've talked about these or if they've appeared on other lists, I'm just going to skip them. So for the first one, we got Total War Shogun 2 Rise of the Samurai. Now this one was a DLC I did for Shogun 2, the review of it at the end of last year. And honestly, I was very surprised at the feedback and turnout that I got, but it really shows just how much people like, Shogun 2. People, it's an underrated, the popular consensus is let's have a Medieval 3, but it's still one of those things that there's still a good chunk of people that do want a Shogun 3 and probably would prefer that. Personally, I'd prefer a Medieval 3 because it's been way too long. At least one on the Warscape, just so we can wrap up that engine and scrap it and get a new engine. But I don't know where things stand in terms of Medieval 3. I really hope it's on the horizon, but nothing has really been said about that. Right now, the focus is on Warhammer 3. So I'm assuming probably after Warhammer 3, then they'll announce something. But until then, we'll see. All right, King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match. I already did that. Let's Play Tom Clancy's, did that. Empire Earth 3 did that. So we're going to move up to number 6 I meant to say, my bad. And we're going to go with King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match. Now this one I did earlier this year. It's funny, it's like a lot of the earlier videos this year did really well, but then the later ones did horrible. And part of that was not just because of the videos themselves. I think a part of that was just me. I tried to do some different things algorithm-wise that unfortunately didn't work. And I also wasn't uploading as much later in the year than I was earlier this year, which will probably continue as we go into next year, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, this one, I don't like it as much as 98, but I still had a lot of fun with this. And definitely another video I was surprised to see, but hey, it did really well, and it already, is about to surpass 98 already, which was another video, on this list again that did pretty well. So I'm pretty happy for the views for that one. All right, so the one above it is the Armor Core tier list. Now I know you guys love the tier list, and I don't believe I talked about this last year. It doesn't look like it showed up last year, so I'll just talk about it now. Tier lists, they're cool to do. Like, they're pretty quick to do, just talk about the games and make it real quick. So the turnout I get for that is awesome. The Armor Core series is something that's near and dear to my heart. I've played them all basically, and some of them I really enjoyed, some of them I didn't. I've talked about it in the video, and I'm not sure where the state of the series is right now. I don't know if there is going to be another Armored Core. I would love for another Armored Core to come back, but it just looks like From Software is so focused on the Souls formula and the Souls genre that there's going to be, no chance for it, at least of now. But who knows? We'll see in the future, because I would love another Armored Core. It definitely needs to come back, especially for the PS5. That'd be freaking awesome. And even for PC if we're lucky. All right, so the next after that is Bloody Spell. Believe I've already talked about that. 3 Kingdoms, already talked about that. Dynasty Warriors tier list once again. This was another one that was released this year, mid this year. And once again, another tier list and talking about Dynasty Warriors. It's another series that, I grew up with and I really loved, especially back in the day. Now I've kind of just faded away from it. I became more interested in Samurai Warriors, but now I'm kind of fading from that as well. I'm just kind of fading away from the Warriors series. I think it's just, you know, it gets to that point where it's just, once you've played one, you've played them all. Like, the formula is very similar. And it doesn't really evolve past that. Now you can say, oh, well, you play all these Dark Souls games, aren't they all the same? To an extent. The core is the same, but it changes at least a good amount each of them. Like, people can, you know, go write essays about the different mechanics from 1 versus 2 versus 3 and how it all fits in together. Like, how rolling and how everything is so much faster in 3 than it is in 2 and 1, and how everything is so, you know, balls molasses slow in the second one. So there are differences that you can notice and you can break down. When it comes to Dynasty Warriors, there is, but it's very subtle, and honestly, you don't even need to do it because the games get easier and easier. So it almost gets to a point that, like, you don't even need to you know, process it. You don't even need to use the more advanced mechanics most of the time, just because you can, you know, press square or press X, and, you know, that's your day. You don't even have to use any of the combos. But with that said, I still, you know, enjoyed it growing up, and I still look for I still look forward to Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. Hopefully that could be a rebound. It looks like Koei's trying to you know, go back to its roots a little bit with it, but only time will tell, and we'll have to see. And the last one is the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Lockdown Mission 1. I've talked about that again last year, so we'll just move on from there. And I want to get into the future of the channel and what I plan I'm having for the channel. So finally, we've wrapped up the 50 Blades of Grey arc. I just recently released the Dark Souls 3 review. If you haven't seen that, go please see that. It was a lot of work was put into it, and I even got freaking LGR in the video, so like, you gotta at least watch for him. I mean, I didn't get his physical presence there, but I got his voice at least for the intro. So I really appreciate him lending his voice to that. You know, he's my favorite YouTuber. He's a big inspiration. Why I do this channel has been a big inspiration for me from the start. So the fact that he lended his voice, it wasn't a full-on collab, but, you know, he lended his voice. I definitely appreciate it. So like I said, we wrapped up the arc with 50 Blades of Grey. So I'm going to go back to a more episodic format with each of the reviews, basically the pre-50 Blades of Grey format. Because as much as I love the long-term arcs and adding characters like Crow and having a bunch of fun with that, and, you know, taking it, it was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. It was, the whole experience was a great time. But man, it was exhausting at the end of the day. Once I finished it, I was like, finally, like, I can move on creatively to other things. And I think it allows me to use more the sketch comedy without having to be like, oh, remember this, a part of the continuity. Oh, remember this is supposed to go in. I know it's a YouTube video at the end of the day, and it's a YouTube series. It's not really like, you know, I'm writing freaking Game of Thrones and I gotta memorize every single character, every single fact, but it's just like, you know, we got to keep the storyline going. We can't just like leave loose threads. So the fact that everything got tightened up, and, you know, 50 Blades of Grey basically erased from my channel is all good. So that's for the reviews thing. I'm still gonna do sketches, but more episodic. I also said I was gonna get into Let's Plays last year, and I failed on that, so that's on me. You know, I was gonna do Raven Shield, but I ended up into a bit of an issue there. Technical issue. I may just do it regardless of the issue, but I'm still undecided on that. I was gonna do Lockdown, but that kind of got pushed in the side, you know, wanting to just complete this arc, and, you know, it basically got deprioritized. So I may do that this year just to kind of wrap up the series. Other games, I've thought about probably doing like maybe like a Dark Souls, like using one of the mods, or playing an old game and using like a mod or something like that, like a Total War, or maybe another Total War campaign, but again, I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe I'll do a campaign for Warhammer 3, but again, everything is, it's kind of an unsure thing. I don't know if I do want to do Let's Plays or whatever. Because I do enjoy reviews. You know, that's mainly what I do the channel for. I do enjoy it. But I have been wanting to get back into Let's Plays, but it's just been, you know, having that energy, that consistent energy to, you know, be excited and to be, you know, lively. And that's something that can be hard depending on what's going on in life and everything. And for the third thing, the tier lists, I don't think I'm gonna do them anymore, and I got two reasons for it. First one is just I'm kind of running out of what to talk about. Like, I've played a lot of series, I've played a lot of franchises, but it's getting to a point where I'm just like, I haven't played XYZ, so it's like I only review like 3 out of the 7 games that it came out with. Like Tekken, I've played them all. Soul Calibur, I've played them all. Like, I think it's just like the spin-offs that I haven't played for the most part, but I've basically played them all. If I was to do like King of Fighters, it would be like probably 5 or 6 of the games out of like the 20 that were released. Or 14, I think. 14 official. There may be some side things. Virtual Fighter would be kind of the same thing, where it's like I like Virtual Fighter. I've played 2, 4, and 5, but that leaves out 1, that leaves out 3, and that leaves out Final Showdown, you know. And that's kind of like the issue I'm starting to run into. It's like, all right, a lot of these series I haven't really played, so I'd have to like skip a lot of games. I've been thinking about probably doing like some random tier lists. I saw a couple tier lists that have like, you know, ranked 300 games or 200 games or something. So I may do something like that, you know, just something maybe a little bit different. But I'm still don't think I'm gonna do them. Like, it's just, to me, just not really a priority. The second one is the toxicity. It's just, I don't know what it is about tier lists. They get me the most views, but the higher your views, the more people look at it, the more chance you have for people that you don't like to look at it, or people that are just genuinely negative people. So I ran into a lot of that, like a lot of vitriol and just hate, just for having a different opinion, which, sorry, I guess. I mean, it's just my opinion at the end of the day. And it was getting so out of hand, and I was like, you know, I gotta moderate this. And I don't like to moderate comments just because I'm the type of person where I'm big on free speech. I don't want you to be like silenced or whatever. But after a while, it's just like, wow, I need to really just clear this out for my mental health or whatever. Because if you don't want to be respectful and you don't want to be, you know, state your case and say, hey, I disagree, but this. And I have gotten a lot of people who've done that. So those I have no issues with. Continue to disagree with me. Continue to state your points. I appreciate it. The feedback, you know, continues the discussion, and it's been great for them. But if you're just going to say, bro, you suck, you're not qualified to say this, you're gone. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to delete you. Like, I just don't want to hear your comment. This is your warning, I guess, but sorry, I just don't care at this point, and I don't feel bad for it. So that's why I haven't really been doing them, and I've just not enjoyed them, because I'm like, okay, here comes the, I got my pitchfork, my broom, I should say. I got my broom, and I'm just like, all right, here comes the mess now, every single time. It's like, if it hits big, it's just like, I'm going to get a bunch of people just going to hate on it. It's crazy. So yeah, that's basically the future of Powerhouse for 2021, and I hope you guys are, for 2022, I should say, and I hope you guys have enjoyed what's been out here for 2021. Lots more in store that I have already created lists of what I'm going to work on in the future. Gonna get, you know, still doing some free games that I'm getting from developers. So really excited to for 2022 and what it offers. And I thank you guys once again for sticking along with me, and thank you for all the views that you've given me throughout the years and all the support. Much appreciated as always. And as always, this is Powerhouse signing off.